I used to be a Bible-believing Christian. I used to believe that the Bible was the divine, inspired word of God meant for all people to know God and to know salvation. I believed the Bible was inerrant, it was without contradiction, and that everything in it was directly God-breathed. And then I got to a point in my Christian journey where I realized that I didn't know that I had good reasons for believing that the Bible was true. I realized that I believed in the Bible because my pastor told me that the Bible was true, my church leaders, my Sunday school teacher, and my family. And they presented the Bible to me as a child as something that was true. And I trusted the adults in my life, and so I believed it was true also.
Beliau adalah Christy Burke, seorang yang memutuskan keluar dari agama Kristen setelah ia meneliti Bible. Dia menemukan banyak kejanggalan dalam Bible dan dalam sejarah penulisan Bible itu sendiri.
To a point where they have to question, okay, why do I believe what I believe? And is it rational? Is it reasonable? Do I have good reasons for this? And when I asked myself that, I realized that I didn't have good reasons. That believing something is true because someone else told you without actually doing any research for yourself is not rational or reasonable. And so I went on this journey trying to better understand the Bible, the history, where it came from, why I, as a Christian, why we as Christians trusted it. And I concluded at the end of my journey that it's not trustworthy. I don't trust the Bible as the inspired word of God. I think the Bible is a collection of writings over a long period of time by many different authors of different cultures, of different life experiences, of different religious beliefs. And it's a collection of writings from all of these different people put together by other people that wanted it to fit a certain way and wanted us to get a specific message.
Menurut pengakuan Christy, gereja banyak melakukan manipulasi untuk mengontrol dan memanfaatkan para jemaatnya. Dia berpikir bahwa gereja membutuhkan para jemaat, bukan sebaliknya.
Because a lot of people have this idea that church is a place where you go to find peace and hope and comfort and a spiritual connection. But I would argue that a lot of churches are using an array of manipulation tactics to keep people under their control. And this could be intentional or not, but I think it is happening, and I think it's worth recognizing, because even people who don't regularly attend church tend to think that churches are existing within this kind of divine spiritual realm where they are exempt from social criticism, and they have the freedom to act the way they act, believe the way they believe. And though that is true to an extent, I think that this keeps a lot of people from closely scrutinizing tactics used in the churches, the way these church leaders are treating the members of their congregation.
Dia juga beranggapan bahwa gereja juga menyampaikan doktrin-doktrin kepada para jemaatnya untuk kepentingan gereja.
And so what I want to do is I want to take a look at some very common manipulation tactics and compare it to how people are being treated in the church, especially within the conservative and evangelical churches, and how Christian doctrine is being presented in a way that manipulates people into staying in the church, into staying faithful and never leaving. There are thousands and thousands of people that are leaving the Christian church having these shared experiences of having felt as though they experienced some sort of spiritual abuse that kept them from being able to be authentic, to be themselves, and to think freely.
Oke ikhwan filah, itulah tadi kisah dari Christy Burke. Dan di sini kita tahu bahwa yang namanya kitab suci itu ya harusnya isinya itu suci dari tangan manusia. Kalau manusia menambah atau mengurangi isi kitab suci, maka sudah kehilangan kesuciannya. Itu sudah bukan 100% firman Tuhan lagi. Dan itulah yang terjadi pada kitab-kitab sebelumnya. Jadi Bible itu sudah mengalami perubahan dan pengeditan, dan itu diakui oleh para pendeta Kristen itu sendiri. Berbeda dengan Al-Quran. Karena Al-Quran dihafal oleh kaum muslimin sejak diturunkan, jadi sampai 1400 tahun pun gak akan berubah. Ya karena para hafiz itu menghafal Al-Quran seperti kita menghafal Pancasila. Jadi kalau ada yang mau merubah Pancasila, ya pasti kita tahulah sebagai orang Indonesia. Dan Al-Quran juga mengkritik perilaku ahli kitab yang mengotak-atik kitab mereka. Maka kecelakaan yang besarlah bagi orang-orang yang menulis Alkitab dengan tangan mereka sendiri. Lalu dikatakannya ini dari Allah, dengan maksud untuk memperoleh keuntungan yang sedikit dengan perbuatan itu. Maka kecelakaan yang besarlah bagi mereka, akibat apa yang ditulis oleh tangan mereka sendiri. Dan kecelakaan yang besarlah bagi mereka, akibat apa yang mereka kerjakan. Dan kita tahu gereja itu seperti memerah jemaatnya untuk memberikan perpuluhan. Dan perpuluhan itu 10% dari gaji Anda setiap bulan. Dan dalam Islam, zakat itu cuma 2,5% tiap tahun. Dan itu pun wajibnya baru kalau mencapai nisab. Dan dalam Islam itu sedekahnya sukarela. Dan bisa diberikan pada siapa saja, tidak harus melalui masjid atau pemuka agama. Oke ikhwan filah, semoga video ini bermanfaat. Wallahu a'lam bishawab. Barakallahu fikum. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.